The magic is in. Well, hello, everybody. We are here with you again. Welcome to the Human Design Podcast. We come here every week, putting our hearts and minds together in a service of the collective awakening. We join in our passion for the human design system with an intention to educate, bring awareness, and to trigger a meaningful change in anyone sincerely looking for it. So thank you for joining us today, and let's dive right into our conversation. And today, I thought we would speak about the two most important things, tools, whatever you like to call it, in the human design system. So Ra often says that this knowledge you can study for years and years and years, and there's so much depth and there's so much details that you can dive into, and it's crazy. It blows your mind every time. Yet it always comes down to these two practical tools that we can use to navigate this body mind through this life. And there's a strategy and authority. And funny enough, as this geeky is an aspiring geeky, I do not know so much about other strategies and authorities apart from my own.
Ooh.
So I would love to explore it with you guys. And whoever wants to start on this thing, please educate me.
Wow. Okay. Well, if we at the end of the episode and we have explained everything, then that is actually the only episode you need to watch and listen over and over again. Because if you truly understand your strategy and authority and experiment with in life, Ra is saying, then you will follow the flow of you, and the only thing is to do it properly all the time is pretty damn hard, though.
Takes
And
practice. But
and
hey, Willie,
yeah,
let's first start for somebody who has no clue what strategy and authority is, because the
yes,
human design system has its own language. So
yes,
can you explain what a strategy is and what authority is?
of course. Yeah, I think it's just too good to start with strategy. So maybe we park authority for now. The authority is actually your decision-making tool, but the strategy is actually how your aura. So every person in the world has their own aura. In actually, Ra's saying four types of aura. You can, some people say five types, but we'll explain later. But four types of aura, and every aura has their own strategy. So, strategy how you work, how your aura is working for you. And in the basis, that is it. And if you understand your strategy, your aura working, and your authority, your decision-making process, you will follow you. So you listen to you actually in a way. You only need to know how you have to listen to you. Because strategy authority is, I mean, you can have a lot of strategy, different strategy authorities. Actually, there are not so much different, but still it is very personal. So that is also good to say that it's even though I explain maybe a strategy or authority, you still need to experiment with you how that is feeling for you. Because I don't know how it is to be you, Marta. I don't know how it is to be you, Juju. I only can have a sense of when I see the design, probably it works like this, but you still need to figure out yourself. If, for example, we, Marta, we are generators, we need to respond. The strategy is to respond. But what is that? What is responding? You know, like, I mean, even the word, what is it? What is it for you? When do you feel that you respond and that you feel pulled towards or to say, towards this thing? And that is personal for you and it's personally for me. So you need to figure out yourself. Still, you need to experiment with it, how your strategy is working. So in the basis, that is strategy. I don't know, Juju, if you want to elaborate more on that.
Oh, I very well. Yeah, I was captivated by your oration. Uh, I mean, strategy is just how to navigate, how to make correct decision, not the good or the bad, but just, giving people like confirming what they know they should follow. So, and it's funny because you mentioned the response. I'm a projector, so for me, I need to wait for recognition and invitation. That's why I always try to wait for somebody to invite me to talk. Because by waiting for information for me, it removes resistance, you know? And for you, responding also removes resistance. So it's kind of like you have a feeling, you pause, you listen to the response. If it's a clear yes, boom, you engage your energy, right? And then magic. But if you try to make things happen without we're responding with your feeling or your thinking, then you're creating resistance and then you're feeling frustrated, you know? So it's kind of it's how to navigate in the most easy way, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well said. So,
And I maybe will offer some other words for those who not everyone maybe resonates with the word aura. What is this aura thing, right? And here we maybe can go into a little bit of a more practical language and say that, well, we all know because science told us that everything in this universe is made out of energy, as well as this body. So this body, we have an energy body as well as physical body as well as emotional body and all these other bodies, right? So an energy body of ours is called aura, and basically a strategy is how your energy operates, right?
yes, absolutely, yeah. I heard you talking, and then I just got an analogy of you are your own information field, right? So but you send out your information. I saw this boat on this lake, somewhere in the middle of the lake, sending out this beep beep messages like beep 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 beep, beep, like its own frequency, its own signal, and some signal will come back in a way. So your body is telling all the time the signals out. I'm me, and something responds to that, right? So when something is responding with it, it will come into your aura. And for us, we can respond on it. But for Julian, somebody will recognize and invite him. And that is the way it works. But what we most of the time do, we send signals out, but we try to pick up all different signals which are not from us, which we don't need to engage in. So we are like, like, oh, that's interesting. But it's like, that's not really a good response for you because you think you want to be there or you want to be seen or, like, especially for a projector, it's a lot of times you want to, invite themselves into the conversation or because they already see and feel what can be fixed, and then they, put themselves into it, trying to be a kind of manifester kind of thing or generator kind of thing, which is just conditioning. But it's very difficult to understand. I mean, I can imagine you want to engage. You're a human being. You love to, you want to. But then if you do that all the time, as a projector, not inviting yourself and go into the conversation, want to be in the conversation, want to fix stuff, that is exhausting on the long term because it's not true all the time that it is your path, right? So you're ignoring the true signals, which the people who are truly inviting you, where you can be wise and can be very beautifully, the projectors are is making fun of it because the manifestors, we will talk about the auras later, but the manifestors are the leaders, like the leaders in 250 years ago. And then the projectors came, and actually now the projectors are actually the top of the hierarchy, right? They need to be on places where they can guide all these generators, all these slaves working, right? And the manifestors still in leading roles. But above there, the projectors actually see like this can be like this, and this can be guided like this. And if we do, it's a beautiful aura. But most of the time, the projectors are, like pushed away by all the generators and manifestors. And we don't really see them for the truth they are there, the worth they are there. Oh, Juju, I'm so sorry.
I know.
So maybe it's good to just outline the auras and to explain, because we're already talking projectors, generators, manifestors, stuff like that. So maybe it's good to say the strategy from each aura and explain people in human design how that works. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, let's translate a little bit the human design language because I realize, well, perhaps somebody's watching who is very new to a human design language. They talking about? Who's projector? Who's generator? What's that? So let's explain a little bit what
Great.
that means.
Right. So
Should I share a chart?
yes, let's share a star chart.
short.
So maybe it's good when Juju is explaining the chart, it's good to say that for people who are listening to this or watching this, it is important to find out your own chart, human design chart first, because otherwise you won't understand it. You can find online on a lot of places. You can get free charts, Jovian Archive, but I mean a lot of places.
Probably
Just
the most reliable one though, that Joe Caven or
yes, but I mean, absolutely, yeah, that's just the main thing. But you can just Google and human design chart, and you will find 1,000 websites where you can get your chart out. So that is important to know for the people to get your chart out. So now we're watching at the moment, we're watching at my chart as a generator. And what you will see is actually on the right side, most of the times, or under the chart, you will see the type. So your aura type. And for me, I'm a generator. And my strategy, which is under there, so let's first go on strategy, is to respond. And let's first talk about the generators, because Marta, you're also a generator. And in the beginning, I said like 4 or 5 types. Somebody say the generators and the manifesting generators are different breeds, different types. Ra is not saying this. Ra is saying a generator is a generator, even if you are a pure generator or a manifesting generator. Because the auras, sorry?
same aura.
Same aura, yeah, it's the same way of strategy. It's always to respond. The only thing is that for you, Marta, if you respond and it feels good and you go into the correct decisions, you are a Ferrari, you are faster, you are always 5 steps ahead. That's the manifesting thing coming in. So a lot of people, and I have to admit that this works best for manifestor generators, is that they still need to inform also when they are responding and they go into that thing what they are enthusiastic about. They go so fast. Sometimes it is important to also inform what you're going to do, but we're going to talk about that later. So let's first go on the responding part, because I think almost 70% of the world are generators. So that is a big group. And in the basic, the generators are just very easy. They're builders. We need to work. We need to revise. We know redo our energy. We have this sacral, the red square in the middle, which Juju is now making a beautiful, circle around. That if you see that in your, if that's red, and it's working like this actually, what he's doing, the red square there, that is the if you have that in your chart, you're a generator. So you're a generator or the manifesting generator, but you are a generator. And that means you have a consistent life force energy. So your aura, and Ra is saying the words open and enveloping. So your aura, and that's why it's called a generator. I always, I don't know if you know the generator of when you were on the camping site when you were young. You had this where you were, like lying in the tent, and you had this generators next to this caravans, and like you hear the sound of like, right, the generators. That is literally what a generator is. I always feel myself buzzing in the, Rob was always saying the word buzzing. So when he came into the room, a generator, he said, "Oh, this room is buzzing," And that is because here, the sacral here down, it is generating. It is like doing this all the time, all the time. And it is open and enveloping. What it means is the aura is open, and it's like getting things into the aura all the time, all the time. And in that moment when it's doing that, you can respond. And that's the strategy. You respond on what is coming into your aura, right? So it can be a beautiful bird passing by. It can be a person coming in, like all the things which we can responding on. You have a kind of feeling around it to respond. And then you come to strategy, but let's leave that for later. So the generators are here to respond. So that is the way your auras are working. So if you are a generator, listen to that things coming into you and to feel that energy going like yes or no into that aura. Maybe Juchu, you with your open sacral, because you are not a generator, you're a projector. We talk about that later. But how do you describe that sacral energy? Because you're open, so you are wise to have that, to know what that feeling is, to be around all these generators. And what is the feeling you get when you're around generators in your sacral, which is open?
Well, it's full of juice. When I'm hanging out with generators and they're vibrating high, I'm like, I'm absorbing everything right here as a projector, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's like the opposite. It's like coming into me.
Yep.
And it's like, it's so in a way I will feel how they are, like, you know, in a high vibration and a low vibration, you know, and it gives me, so if I'm not careful, I think, oh, I can do all these things, you know, like, oh yeah, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. And then suddenly when they're gone, my energy goes down. Like it's like the energy dissipates, the nuclear reactor fuel that I feel when around generator.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when we go to ecstatic dance and we have like dance with so many people, so many generators, I'm always like, ah, and then I go home and I can't sleep, and then I get so exhausted, and then at some point I just crash, you know, like it's so that's my experience with you guys.
Which sounds like that's like 70% of the world are generators, and to be a projector, also like a manifestor is an open cycle. You want to say something, Marta?
I want to ask
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
when is that then a generator will feel depleted?
If
And
I
now,
That's a great question. That is a great question.
It is a great question, and I think I can only ask it personally to as my own life how I see it. So I know what Ra is saying about it. So he's saying that a projector can be really exhausted when it's like living on that generator energy, doesn't know when enough is enough. It can be really like physically really exhausted. Because the generator is this sacral continuous energy, it's more like um, a functional exhausting. So what he's explaining is if we don't follow truly our yes or no's, and we do a lot of yeses on no's, we will get tired too. We will not functionally, we have a lot of frustration because I mean that's our not self theme, right? As a generator, you are frustrated, and it's very easy to explain because you can see the generating are generating, and if you like respond on something and you actually feel a no, but you do yes, you put the energy into this thing. You want to finish that experience or to finish that because you want to get energy out of it, right? The energy needs to renew all the time. So, but if you don't get it, I mean, you can see the frustration is about the energy not connecting and refreshing. So it's like, why is it not working? Are people not listening? Why? All these things because you're not at the right place. You're pushing it, you're pushing it, you're pushing it. Now, you can do that sometime, but you can imagine if you're on your work for 10 years, not happy, not feeling yeses, frustrated all the time. I mean, you can, poof, like go out with a bang, right? Because it's like you're dysfunctioning all the time, your true yes or no. And so it is more like for a projector can be at the end of the day like, like physically exhausted and did so much. We are more like dysfunctional, so it's like more like it dysfunctions you in a way of, and I think it's a longer period of time where we can have this experience. I don't know if you, Marta, because you're also a generator, if you can relate to
yeah,
that.
analogy to that, but I wanted to say to hear what Juju wanted to say because he lighted up when he said it's a great question. So I want to hear what what you.
I was just amplifying the sacral energy. I was like, yeah, hit me, baby. I kept thinking about my family. I'm the one generator, and my brother is I'm projector. My brother is a generator. My sister is a generator. My both parents are generators. There's like four generators and one. And I see it in my brother. He's got so many projects. He's committing himself so many things, and I keep thinking like, yeah, is it a clear yes? All the things you're doing, is it a clear yes? Because he can just go on. He's got three daughters. He's got a business. He's working for a business. He's doing like a spiritual it's like he's like boo. And I could never do that. If I just took one of his daughters for half a day, I'm gone. It's like because they know I cannot say no. And then they're like, oh no, no, no. And then I'm like, I cannot stop.
Yeah.
That's also something like when we are in the generator energy, part of us cannot say no, cannot stop. Like we're just like, oh yes, yes, this feels good. Um,
Yeah, that's why
that's what
the sentence of the open sacral is to know when enough is enough, right? So Ra's saying like that is what you need to learn when you have an open sacral. Also for the manifestors, we will talk on that later. The manifestors also have an open sacral. So they also still need to know, even though they are an energy type and also can, move things forward, they also very need to be aware of to know when enough is enough. And
And you know what? Like just a side note on the generator aura is like magnetic. It's like woo, woo, you can just keep on going, response, woo, like nuclear power. And then the projector is like porous. When we look, it's like a razor, like a sharp focus, but it's like completely porous. So I see it when I'm going out in public and I'm like connecting with all the energies of the people, I can completely like overstimulate it.
yeah.
And that's why where I live now is a duplex. I don't have anybody under me. It's a low density place in Kuala Lumpur. And I find myself and my plants, and I can reconnect with myself. And sometimes I want to go, but then I'm like, no, tranquilo.
Hmm.
It's like,
Absolutely. So
it's
maybe it's good to, after the generators, to go to the strategy of the projectors and also to explain how the aura of the projector is working. I will explain it as a generator, but then Juju will explain it as an experienced person to
as a
be a
native,
project as a
as a native.
as a native. Well, I'm almost married with a projector, so I can see a lot what's happening. But so if we talk about the aura, so for a generator, Ra calls it open and enveloping. So it's like going out and like getting things in. The projector is focused and absorbed. That's the words he's using. So it's really one-on-one. So for the projector to be one-on-one is the best I literally listened yesterday to a projector podcast of Ra himself, and he was making a joke of when a projector is in the room with two other people, one of the other person is always feeling not is always feeling neglected by the projector, and he always thinks about the projector. Why are you not giving me attention? Right? Just it's always this. He makes a joke about it, but it's because the aura is always focusing, like literally focusing, absorbing that one-on-one energy, and in that exchange the projector can immediately see, feel, know what's going on, what can be fixed, how it can be guided, what to get it better. Which is, I mean, that's an amazing gift. I mean, that feels like a superpower to me. But it's also, the one-on-one and when there's other people in the room, what Julian was talking about, all these people to the aura is like trying to figure out where can I put my focus on? Where can I Ra was saying the plug like a plug to plug electricity in the wall, and the projector with a group of people, they are like with the plug like can I put it, no, can I put it, you can imagine, right?
That's why you wait for invitation, because you're
Yes.
waiting to plug. Oh,
And the
cool.
plug will go. So I was one time I was walking on a festival with Lisa, my wife. She's a projector, and I was asking her, explain me, how do you feel that aura? What is focus and absorbing? And we were just walking through people, and she was like, well, it's just like a photo camera. She's also a photographer. A lot of projectors are photographers because when you look through your lens and the camera is capturing the one thing, it is how the aura is working. She's walking and she's like poof, and she's like, I'm now focusing on that person. There's a problem in that group. He is saying this, da da da, and she's explaining the situation, what's going on in that, and she's literally saying, this is their problem, this is what's happening, la, 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 la. And then walks on and like poof. Now I'm focusing on that guy. He is very sad because he's like la 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 la, and she can like read the situation and feel what's necessary and to be fixed. And that is what's happening with that aura all the time. And you can also imagine to be with me all the time, right? In house. And she sees me. I'm also frustrated sometimes. And I also want to, and she wants to help me all the time because she sees all the time what I need. And now she knows, okay, I need to leave him alone because I need to be also invited by him to right? And let him go there. And if I'm pushing too much to help him, I get exhausted. I'm like, it's not. And when she's leaving it, then I'm like, hey, Lisa, I'm having this problem, blah, blah, blah. She says, yeah, I think you need to, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're totally right. Yes, you're absolutely right. And then and then she's happy. She has success, right? Because the projector wants to go to success as we want to satisfaction, Marta. The generators needs to be satisfied. Do that, do that, do that, do that, do that. Satisfied, satisfied, satisfied. Whoop, you know. And one thing to add on, what Ra was saying, a generator can be in the speed of light, be satisfied or be frustrated. So it's immediately sacral is like yes or no. It's like, but for a projector to have success, it is not a in a speed of light thing. So it is focus absorbing, it needs to process, and then at a longer period of time, there is success for the projector. So that is like a longer period of time to have that feeling of success of the main theme of the projector, which I also thought was an interesting difference between us as generators. I mean, Lisa's watching me and she's like, whoa, this guy is now satisfied. And like 2 minutes ago, he was fully frustrated. Wait, how did that happen? So
Well, I
that is,
guess it makes sense even just logically, for projector to be satisfied because not satisfied, but to have success. It makes sense that it takes longer because, well, the strategy, they always penetrating, and the strategy is to be invited, right? So your success kind of depends on their success. How successful are you to help them, right?
well, maybe Juju can answer that, how it works for him.
That's what I tell all the ladies.
How do
Your
you,
success depends on my no, my
no,
success depends on your
yeah,
success.
but how do you describe that? Because Ra's saying like for a projector to know himself is actually not worth the time in this lifetime because you're always focusing on the other.
It's kind of funny and it's beautiful explanation and questions, because then I'm like I'm sort of thinking I'm not gonna, it's I see what you're saying, but it's not like I'm conscious, oh, I need to have success.
Uh-huh.
But more when I do have success because I did something that is recognized, like, oh, you're so good at blah blah blah. And I'm like, whew, and it's not like I'm taking note of it physically. It's just like more like, yeah, party in the dance floor, juju, whoo. And and in that sense, if I'm happy, if I'm recognized, I feel I feel magical. But if I go, for example, to it happened to me in Bali recently. I go to a ecstatic dance. I don't know anybody, and I feel like not recognized. I don't feel recognized at all. Everybody's sort of like in their own group, and I feel like ah. But if I go to ecstatic dance with Willie, and he's giving me attention, and he's going like this, and I'm going like this, and I'm like, yeah, success. That's just a very like easy example. If I go to any sort of social meeting, a dinner, coffee, this, and I feel alone. I can be alone, but if I feel alone in a group with nobody like really caring or inviting me, then I will be like bitterness, I'll feel like nobody saw me.
Mm.
But if I go in any sort of social dance or and then and somebody's like, oh my God, what you shared is so incredible. Wow, so amazing. And I'm like, that's right. You know, and it comes from the heart, like you can feel it. It's like everything in my body is like connected.
Mm.
So
Nice.
and then there's another level of difficulty is like the emotions, but we'll get to there later, you
That's, yeah,
know.
authority.
But
So yeah,
authority,
so if we talk strategy about the projector, because we talked how the aura is working, so the strategy is called to wait for the invitation. And what Juju is also saying, recognition. Sometimes you can put that also there to be recognized and to be invited, because you can be invited in a lot of things. Projectors can be invited in a lot of things, but not it's not that every invitation is your invitation. You still need to have that feeling that you're recognized for the person who you are. And I will always describe, if I see projectors, if you know, if the projector around me is recognized in the talent they have or the quality of aura there's working for. That's why I always say to projectors, if they are a lot in bitterness and they are a lot not being seen and invited, that is because their aura is not spreading out the quality of their aura. So I always say to projectors, go into nature, go read books, go, like things you like to do, what so you need to, how do you say, like plugged in a way of like energy getting up. But also, I mean, I always have Lisa as an example. She loves photography. She goes into books, see how scene photography, opera, she love arts. And if she go into that for a couple of weeks, somehow a person is emailing her, the person is calling her, we need to have a photographer for this, da, 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 da. And that is, if a projector has not been seen and invited, it is also their own responsibility to put their aura up again, to live what they like to do, so that they spread out that energy, so they will be invited for the correct things, right?
That's so true what you said. Like, when I started to study astrocartography, and then suddenly everything, like a lot of opportunities came my way, a lot of like meetings, and
Yep,
it's just magical, and we don't have to try.
true. Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it's and I prefer the term magic.
For
Like
instead of,
the magic comes out of us. Like,
yes,
when we're recognized, like magic.
that's the magic. Yeah,
The
It's the
design,
magic.
the
it's design.
design, my friends. That's the design.
Uh-huh. So
Yeah.
now we talked about projectors and generators into of the way the aura is working and strategy. Maybe it's good to get the manifestors out. I don't know, Juju, if you have, maybe, I don't know if we have like a manifestor
I
person.
will
I just
I'll find a
grab
manifest,
just grab a
but
What
in
do
manifest.
you have, Ra?
but I know,
Ra, yeah.
Ra, yeah, Ra.
Do you have Ra?
Oh,
So
do I
Ra
have
Uru,
Ra?
the founder of human design, was a manifestor. So maybe we can already talk about what a manifestor is. So the generators are 70%, the projectors are 20% in the world, and 8% in the world are manifestors. And the manifestors were like 100,000 years ago, they were ruling the world. The manifestors were the, well, I mean, they are here to make impact. That is just what the manifestors are doing. I always explain it is they are the stone that they throw in the water to get the ripples. They are the people who can move immediately, and they do the things and they make impact. And that is quite, I think aura, Ra is using the words for the aura as repelling and closed and repelling. He's using.
Rebelling, yes.
So yeah, so the aura is very, and also even as a child, and that's why a lot of manifestors are loners, because their aura is always pushing out all the time. It's very big. So when they come into the room, even if they're, like very sweet, soft people, they immediately like, their aura is pushing everybody into something. So you can imagine what this does for other people around with auras. Oh, there we go. With this, who is this?
Ra
This Ra.
Uruhu.
Oh wow, yeah, Ra. So we now see Ra, and so you also see that he has an open sacral. So he doesn't have the
From
continuous sacral life force energy, which is also saying that for him, he also needs to know when enough is enough. But a manifestor is called an energy type, by the way, by Ra. So the manifestor is, they can, they have the energy to do a lot. But it's, I mean, their aura is, what I'm saying, it's like closing and repelling, and they push, it's closed. So it's also very hard to come into the manifestor, because the manifestor is just pushing everything out. I always also use the analogy of a big boat in the haven, like there's a big boat lying there in the water with all the small boats around, like generators, projectors, all these, I always call myself plebs. I don't know if it's a Dutch word, but it's like, the stupid people around the manifestors. The manifestors always know a lot. My brother is a manifestor. He knows, he's always three steps ahead. Manifestors are smart most of the time. They know already what's gonna happen, and they think, why are all these people not know that this is already gonna happen? These stupid people. But what they do and what they forget to do, and then we come to strategy, is to inform. So manifestors just do because they're in their own aura. They get, they push, they make impact. They are pushing out, and you're also are a manifesting generator. I don't know if you're laughing about that, Marta.
Yeah, I
So
can relate.
yeah, so that's also into the manifesting generator, of course. And they just go into it and they forget to inform what they are going to do. And you can imagine if the big boat is lying there and it is just going to move with and all the small boats around them, they don't know it's going to move. A lot of anger is coming from there. You can imagine you hit all the boats. We couldn't go away for the manifestor to make room for the manifestor to do their thing. You can imagine that people are saying, "What are you doing? Why are you now walking out of the door and don't say anything? Why you don't inform me that you're going to do this, right? Because we were working on this thing and you just walked out the door and nobody is knowing this, but the manifestor is like, I had a manifestor once in my rehearsal when I was an actor doing a play, and we were literally doing a dance, a choreography, like with the whole group. And in the middle of the choreography, the guy was walking out of the door. Nobody knew what he was doing. He came back with a sandwich cheese, and he said, "Why everybody is watching?" Yeah, he said, "I was hungry," and everybody was like, "Yeah, but we were rehearsing," and they were like, "Yeah, but I was hungry." you know, this is a typical manifestor thing. They are so in themselves, you know, putting out, they just flow with themselves. So if they don't inform, if he just had said, "Oh, I'm so hungry, I'm gonna grab a sandwich," everybody was saying, "Okay," and they make space and he can go get a sandwich, right? And that is the thing with the manifestor. They're here to make impact, and the strategy for the manifestor is to inform. And a big thing to say about that is not that they need to have permission. That's a very important thing. It's not that they're asking permission. They're just saying, "Hey, I have this idea. I'm gonna email that person, or I'm gonna do this and this." So the people can around them can like, "Oh yeah, I understand. We're gonna work with it." Or it's not that they're like, "Can I please go out the door and eat my sandwich?" That is not a manifestor thing. So that is in short the manifestor. So I don't know if you know people around you are manifestors.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
my God.
my ex.
Oh yeah.
Mine too.
Yes, great.
Your ex?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Let's
we're my ex and your ex. Maybe
let's
they're the
talk
same person.
about
No.
that.
And yeah, and it's something I think we can touch also on, like, I think it has to do with the relationships, right? Because I remember like the frustration of my ex
Uh-huh.
was that, well, if you try to do everything on your own, then you will get frustrated. As a manifester, you're not you are supposed to lead, right? You're not supposed to do everything on your own. You'll end up like all bitter and angry and blah blah blah, and I don't want to do this, and feeling trapped and stuff. So you have to understand as a manifester also, like, yes, you can do many things alone, but like if you're doing something big, you need generators, you perhaps need projectors and stuff. And that's why you inform, because otherwise how can you make this relationship work with other people? Because
Mm.
you're supposed to be up there leading,
Yep.
and if you don't inform people and just do your thing, people will be like, you know?
Yeah,
So if you want a good relationship and to be a good leader, as a manifestor is sort of meant to be, then you're supposed to inform
Mm.
others about what
Mm-hmm.
you're doing. Not asking them for permission, but informing, hey, this is what I'm doing. That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Judy?
And another aspect of it is, you know, by informing people, people will inform you instead of
Yeah.
telling you what to do, because manifestors, they really don't like to be told.
No.
Um,
No.
and they don't like to be asked questions all the time, you know. It's like, come on.
Yeah, true.
So it removes resistance in a way, you know.
Yeah,
And
true.
with my ex, one of the reasons we split up is because I was in front of a situation where I was not informed, and I took it with bitterness, like you didn't inform, you know. And then it created a series of events that we closed the relationship. We're good friends now, but it's, you know, it's just it removes resistance and it improves relationships basically with
Yes,
everybody.
definitely. Yeah, yeah. But
Um,
you can imagine that if the project because the projectors are now in this world, like longer times before, the manifestors were leading hierarchically, right? So they were just leading, and they say we do this and this and this, and now and that's why Ra is saying why the projectors came in, because we as a human being are evolving, right? We have the emotional system, which is just actually a very new thing of how it works. So we just like in 2027. 250 years Pluto went around, and the whole emotional system had its first go around and is evolved now as one thing that is working. But we still need to figure out what is that consciousness, what is that spirit consciousness, what is that emotional consciousness. It's very young to us actually, but the projectors are here, so that's what Ra was saying. Projectors come to Earth because we have this new way of how we are working. So I would say, I don't know if I would say a softer way, but more like a collective way. And like it's guided more, like projector are guiding it more instead of like, you do this, you are my slave. I always think to Egypt, like building the pyramids, and you see all these generators, like working, and probably a lot of projectors also there. I don't know. But like, like
or guiding.
yes, guiding. But still like it was leading like the pharaohs, like leading in a way. And that's, I mean, that is not the world anymore. So we're now having this, and I don't know, I mean, I'm even still working out like what is it as a species where we are evolving to, and what's going to happen in 2027 when everything is going to turn around in another way. And Ross talking about, these people are getting born who are totally different than us. Like, what's that? I mean, like, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, right?
But it makes sense. I mean, this is we are on the evolutionary journey,
Of
and we
course.
evolved all the way from monkeys, I mean there's been different kind of sapiens. We are what I just learned in class, Live in Your Design,
Yep.
is that we are actually the Homo sapiens in transitory type,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
This new type of um, a human being that is coming very soon in a couple of years is going to be called Rave. It's the next evolutionary step of humanity.
Yep.
So it makes sense. It's nothing like woo woo woo. This
No,
evolution.
absolutely true. Absolutely true. So
Yeah.
that's actually the manifester as strategy is working is to inform. And what Juju was saying correctly, also when you inform, the others will also inform you. That is also important, I guess.
Okay. This was good. Can we talk about me now, please? Because we
You want?
skipped me.
Well, yeah, in a way we
Investors, and we spoke about generators, but we also
yes.
have manifesting generators.
Yes. So actually we didn't skip
My
you.
people.
Actually, we didn't skip you because Raw was actually everything we said about the generator is still true for you as a manifesting generator. So Raw is more as a thing like, yeah, generators are generators. If you're a manifesting generator, it doesn't matter. You have the sacral response. You always need to respond on yes or no's and if we talk like difference, if I would say this is a combination of the manifester and the generator. So I also think for you, always for you, it's important because you have that manifesting capacity. So you are here also to make impact in a way because you're fast and you want to, but you still need to respond first. So the sacral is your most important thing. As a manifester, you don't need the sacral. So that's why you don't, it's just you just give this impact, you get something in through yourself, you want to do that, and you just do it. For you, that's not the case, even though you have that experience inside your body. So you do a lot of things, your manifesting capacity, but it's for you very important to say, wait, did I respond to it correctly? So did I feel like a proper yes or no? If that is correct, if you feel the yes, it is still also important for you as a manifestor generator to inform also when you go into that thing, to also say, I have a clear response. I feel the yes. Hey guys, I'm going to do this and this and this, because you're so fast also, you're also impacting with your manifesting capacities. So it is a kind of combination, but Ra was specifically saying it is still a generator, so your responding and your sacral is still your strategy. So I don't know if you can relate to that, Marta, for you.
100%. I think I want to clarify, like, or not clarify, yes, clarify. What is the difference between a manifesting generator and a classic generator?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because it's important to understand. For me, for instance, for a long time in my life, I had this idea, which probably came from conditioning. I don't know why it was in my head, that I this could maybe be right for a classic generator, but I had this idea that I had to find this one thing that I had to do in life, and I was suffering a lot because I felt like, well, I can't stick to something for like a forever. At some point, I always lose sort of interest and passion for it, and I want to move on to the next thing. And
Mm-hmm.
that was a great source of my suffering because I like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me?
Uh-huh.
And I discovered, hey, it's not how I'm supposed to operate.
True. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then I learned somewhere that maybe it's raw, maybe somewhere else in the human design world. I learned that I like this analogy that a manifesting generator is like a lighter, and the function of a manifesting generator is to generate sparks.
Mm-hmm.
So you go and you respond, you generate a spark because when you respond, you're like, look at me, guys, what I'm doing this. I'm all over the place because my sacral is like, ooh, Julian is probably feeling the juice. But this is how I am because I love this thing. I respond to this thing. And for as long as I love to and respond on this thing, other people can feel it and receive it. And I've experienced this so much in my life. Not so much, okay, maybe I'm over exaggerating a little bit, but I've experienced this in my life when I was going into something and I was sharing it with others, and I was doing it on this enthusiasm of writing the sacral response, and other people seeing it and finding their path through seeing me exploring mine.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, when I did a yoga teacher training, I was sharing it, and I was like, at that time, I was responding, and I was really enjoying, and I was sharing, and I was like, wow, 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 And then a friend of mine, a little later, after watching my journey, she was like on her own yoga journey, but then she was like, I want to get a training, and she started talking to me like, oh, which school did you go to? Oh, which nutrition training did you take? And right now, she's full on functioning nutrition coach and a yoga teacher, and a very successful one. And I'm like, wow, the she went after me in my footsteps, and this is like she found herself,
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I feel that this is like this is the um, light spark generating like lighter that a manifesting generator is, while you are riding the wave of your excitement and sharing it with others. You are being that source of fire for other people, that source of light for other people
Uh-huh.
to plug into or to model after or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I think it's good to for all the manifesting generators who are listening, to experiment if this works for you, because I think it's good to make a distinction because your chart is pretty individual. So
Mm,
as a manifesting generator, all your channels are individual channels, which means you empower others to be you in a way of you are yourself. So your aura, your sacral is literally going through your G center, going through your throat. So if you respond, you go immediately to the manifesting thing, but it's all individual channels. So you're very into Marta. Marta is into her thing, you know, and other people are seeing that because the individual channels are always empowering others. And it's not that you are saying, hello, this is me, Marta, look at me, and I'm empowering you. It is just being Marta in this manifesting field, manifesting generator being, and everybody around you like, wow, I think that's great. I mean, I want to do that. That's empowering what she's doing. And that's the way at least with your design, it's working that way. But I think it's a good thing to experiment if that is maybe the case for a lot of manifesting generators, that they spark up all the people around. I think it's a good experiment. I don't know that for how that works for every manifesting generator, but maybe it is something which works for every manifesting generator.
As far as I've explored, I think it is a very manifesting generator thing, maybe independently of their design, is that they're not meant to do one thing their whole
Absolutely.
life.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah. But I always say the analogy as the tabs in your computer. So a manifesting generator loves to have a tab open on Safari and tab open on this, and no, it needs to have a lot of things doing. So I do that, I do that, I do that, I do that. So that is absolutely a manifesting generator thing. And what I never met a manifestor generator which doesn't recognize himself in the 5 steps ahead, 3 steps back, 6 steps
Uh-huh.
ahead, 2 steps back. Every manifesting generator I speak, they say, "Oh my God, I always have this. I'm excited. I know what I'm going. I'm getting my thing. I'm the Ferrari. I put my gas on the pedal. I'm getting my thing. I'm there. I'm like, wait a minute. I need to maybe go a little bit back and to restore this and restore this and restore this, and whoop, they go again. And a lot of manifesting generators wants to fix this, but I always say to manifesting, no, this is you. You respond, you go fast, you do your thing, and you're like, oh wait, I need to go back, and I'm whoop, and go back, And this thing, 5 steps ahead, two back, 4 steps ahead, three back. That is a manifesting generator thing. And I never met a manifesting generator in my life who says like, I don't recognize this. Everybody's like, oh my God, this is so me. This is so me.
And it was so liberating for me to learn that. And I've completely like relaxed into, okay, you know what? I'm doing several things at the same time. I now
Hmm.
know that I'm fully capable of, as long as I'm responding to it correctly. And this is I loved I think Juju shared with me the other day a video, a person speaking about your teacher, right? Speaking about manifesting generators. And I love how she said, a manifesting generator is a personal brand. It's a person who is a personal brand. You you are the brand. You don't create a brand for something. You are the brand.
Hmm.
Everything you're doing,
Yep.
you are the brand.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I shared it with other manifesting generators, as I have plenty in my circle.
Uh-huh.
They're like, yeah, oh my God, yes,
Yeah.
I thought that was also something very distinctive. In comparison, I'm trying to compare,
Absolutely.
right,
Yeah, yeah.
classic generator and a manifest
Yeah, for
generator.
me, it's more like I'm always like a pulse, respond, yes, no, respond, yes, no. It's more like it's also, I can go fast in a way, but it's more like a fixed thing of responding yes or no, responding yes or no. So that's why I had this analogy of Juju actually when we met each other in the first time. He was saying like, yeah, mengens are Ferraris, but you are the BMW. I mean, you're still strong, you still have energy, like, but it's like a difference. The Ferrari can just go, like a bit faster. So yeah, that is true. So to be honest, like time is flying, right? So
Yeah,
maybe I was saying because I also need to go to other stuff, but maybe it's a good idea because this is such a great episode. Maybe we should make the episode like a second part because I mean, let's go
Yeah,
have
let's do it.
yes,
so
right? Because this is so
we haven't
much
even touched on
material.
reflectors.
What?
We haven't even touched on reflectors.
No, that's why reflectors and then all the authority. And I was like, Amma, this is so good material and we talk so nice about it. I would suggest to round up this one and to say like we're gonna make a second one and
All
we
right,
make
part
a
two then coming up.
yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow, our first two-parters. Well done. Well done, team.
Well done. Yeah.
I feel success. I feel recognized.
It was I love this what we talked about.
I heard Juju a lot, so that was like, oh, that's nice.
Nice, yes, but it's also nice to have a projector, a generator, a manifest generator in this thing. I love it that we have all the qualities and we can really talk about their own life experiences. And I think people will have so many recognition when they have that aura type. And you said so much things, Julian. I would think like if you are a projector, you're like, oh my God, I feel finally be seen because this is what I have all my life. And also as a man
Yeah.
gen to have this like, yes, oh my God, why do I do almost so much things and why cannot end stuff and fix it? Like I can imagine you have this like, oh my God, this is me, right? So yeah, love it. I loved it.
I know that most people always learn best from personal examples.
Absolutely.
this information is so deep, and this the whole new language that you learn and understand, and but a personal example, a testimony, it's like, wow, okay, I've been learning this in the book for 3 years, but now I really get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, this
Yeah,
is
Great.
yeah, and I can't wait to share next in the next session, part
Yeah.
two,
Part 2.
about I met a guy the last week, and we went for lunch, and I was trying to figure out who he was, and I couldn't figure out, and then it turns out he was a reflector, and he was
Ah.
just amplifying me. And then when I was clear, I completely opened myself up, and it was like we loved hanging out together. It was
Let's
like it was great.
well, let's start with reflectors then in our next episode and then go on to all the authorities because I think that is great information.
Bagus
Well,
bagus, as they say in Malaysia.
all
Bagus.
right. So we thank you, dear Jujulicious and Willie. Thank you for this juicy conversation. Thank you who's been watching. I hope you drawn a lot of value out of it, as we are. I mean, this was a very good conversation. I really enjoyed it. And we are not saying hello, but not saying hello. We're not saying goodbye, but we're saying see you later in the
Absolutely.
Alligator.
See you later, guys. Woo
see you
woo.
Alligator.
later.